Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why your body just won't let you sleep through the night anymore? You're not alone. In fact, this experience is more common than you might think, especially as we grow older. It's not a sign that something's wrong or that your body is giving up on you. Quite the opposite. It's your body sending you signals, subtle messages about what it needs now in this new chapter of life. As we age, our bodies change in ways we don't always expect. Sleep patterns shift, routines evolve, and the quiet hours of the night can feel both peaceful and puzzling. Waking up early isn't just about getting older. It's about understanding how your internal rhythm, health, and even emotions are working together in new ways. And when you start to listen closely, those 3 a.m. wake-ups can become moments of insight rather than frustration. Let's begin by looking at one of the most natural reasons behind these early awakenings, the shift in melatonin production. Melatonin is often called the sleep hormone. It helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle, signaling to your brain when it's time to rest and when it's time to wake. When you were younger, your body likely produced strong, steady levels of melatonin each night, helping you fall asleep easily and stay asleep until morning. But as we age, melatonin production tends to decrease. That means the chemical signal that once kept you comfortably asleep throughout the night may start to fade earlier than before. So even if you fall asleep without trouble, your brain might naturally begin to shift back toward wakefulness around 3 a.m. It's not a failure, it's just a change. And here's another thing to consider. Your body becomes more sensitive to light as you age. Even small amounts, like the glow from a digital clock or streetlights filtering through the curtains, can further suppress melatonin levels. Think of it like turning down a volume knob. Over time, the background music of your sleep gets quieter, making it easier for your brain to hear other signals, like the need to stretch, sip water, or simply wake up. This was exactly what happened to Harold, a retired teacher in his early 70s. For years, he considered himself a solid sleeper, but lately he found himself waking up every morning around 3:15 a.m., wide awake and ready to start the day, even though it was still pitch black outside. At first, he worried something was wrong. Was it stress, anxiety, a medical issue? But after learning about how melatonin changes with age, Harold began to see things differently. He realized that this wasn't a problem. It was a normal part of aging. With that awareness, he started making small adjustments. He invested in blackout curtains, dimmed the lights an hour before bed, and avoided scrolling on his phone late into the evening. These simple steps helped reinforce his body's natural cues, making it easier to stay asleep a little longer. Now you might be thinking, I've already tried all that, and I still wake up early. Don't worry, we'll get to other factors soon. The key takeaway here is that your body is still working with you, even if it feels like it's working against you. Understanding these changes gives you power, the power to make choices that support your well-being instead of fighting against your natural rhythms. So, if you've ever felt frustrated by waking up too early, try shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing it as a disruption, think of it as a gentle reminder that your body is evolving. And evolution doesn't mean decline, it means adaptation. As we continue exploring the reasons behind those early morning wake-ups, let's explore another important factor, the natural shift in your circadian rhythm, also known as the advanced sleep phase. Many seniors experience this change, but rarely talk about it, and it plays a powerful role in how and when they sleep. Before we dive in, if you find this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll never miss out on more tips to make life a little easier and safer. Your circadian rhythm is like your body's internal clock. It regulates not only when you feel sleepy, but also when you naturally wake up. When you were younger, this clock likely kept you on a schedule that matched most of society. Bedtime around 11 p.m., waking up at 7 a.m., with a full night's rest in between. But as you age, this rhythm tends to shift forward. This means that instead of feeling tired at midnight, you might start feeling drowsy as early as 8 or 9 p.m. And if you fall asleep earlier than before, your body completes its rest cycle much sooner than the traditional 7 a.m. wake-up time. So when your brain says, okay, I'm done resting, it might be saying it right around 3 a.m., which explains why you suddenly find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night. This was exactly what happened to Charles, a retired school administrator in his late 60s. For years, he used to stay up late reading or watching old films. But after retirement, he noticed that by 8:30 p.m., he was already yawning and reaching for his robe. He didn't fight it. He went to bed early and woke up without an alarm long before sunrise. At first, he thought something was wrong. Why couldn't he stay up later like he used to? But once he learned about advanced sleep phase, everything made sense. His body wasn't malfunctioning. It was simply adjusting to a new rhythm. With that understanding, Charles started embracing his earlier bedtime rather than resisting it. He even began using those quiet early hours productively, journaling, sipping herbal tea, and planning his day while the world was still asleep. And here's the good news. This shift isn't something you have to fix. In fact, trying to force yourself to stay up later can actually make things worse. Your body is giving you a signal, and listening to it can help reduce frustration and bring more peace to your nights. So, how does this shift happen? Well, scientists believe it's linked to changes in how our brains respond to light and darkness. As we age, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the part of the brain responsible for regulating circadian rhythms, becomes less sensitive to external cues like sunlight and artificial lighting. That means your brain may interpret dusk as nighttime much earlier than before, which triggers melatonin production and makes you feel sleepy well before your old bedtime. Also, older adults often live in quieter, calmer environments. Without the constant buzz of activity that keeps younger people engaged until late, there's less stimulation to keep your brain alert. Think about it. If your evening consists of dinner at 5:30, some light TV, and no major distractions, your body naturally starts winding down earlier. And once that process begins, it's hard to reverse. Now, if you're someone who still wants to delay your bedtime a bit, there are gentle ways to do so. Exposure to bright light in the early evening can help reset your internal clock. Taking a walk after sunset, reading under a warm lamp, or even having a conversation with a loved one can provide the sensory input your brain needs to stay slightly more alert. Also, staying physically active during the day, even just light stretching or a short stroll, can help reinforce a later sleep-wake cycle. The key is consistency. If you try these adjustments, stick with them for a few weeks to give your body time to adapt. It's also helpful to remember that this shift doesn't mean you're sleeping less. You're just sleeping differently. Instead of a single block of 8 hours from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., your sleep has moved forward on the timeline. You're still getting rest. You're just aligning with a new rhythm that fits your current stage of life. So, if you've been waking up at 3 a.m. and wondering why, take a moment to consider whether your body is simply operating on a different schedule now. There's no need to panic or force yourself into an old pattern that no longer serves you. Instead, see this as an opportunity to adjust, to reflect, and to honor the way your body is evolving. Now let's dive into another important reason behind waking up at 3 a.m., physical discomfort and health-related interruptions. This is one of the most common yet often overlooked causes, especially among seniors. As we age, our bodies naturally go through changes that can make certain conditions more noticeable, especially during the quiet hours of the night. Take arthritis, for example. Many seniors live with some degree of joint stiffness or inflammation, but it's often easier to manage during the day when movement keeps things loose. However, after several hours of lying still, joints can stiffen up, causing just enough discomfort to nudge you awake. You might not feel sharp pain, but there's a subtle ache or pressure that's enough to pull you out of deep sleep. Or consider acid reflux. For some people, lying flat for extended periods can cause stomach acid to rise, leading to a mild burning sensation or a dry cough. This kind of irritation doesn't always wake you fully, but it can shift your brain from deep rest to light alertness, often without you even realizing why. And then there's the issue of frequent nighttime urination, known as nocturia. As we age, bladder capacity tends to decrease, and the muscles that control urination become less efficient. What used to be a single bathroom trip before bed may now require multiple visits throughout the night. Once you get up, even just to use the restroom, your body starts signaling that it's time to be awake again. Let's look at an example. Eleanor, a 76-year-old woman who had always been a relatively light sleeper, started noticing she was waking up around 3:30 a.m. every night. At first, she assumed it was just part of getting older, but after months of disrupted sleep, she decided to talk to her doctor. After a quick review of her medications and hydration habits, they discovered that one of her blood pressure pills was increasing her need to urinate at night. With a few adjustments, including shifting the timing of her dose and limiting fluid intake before bedtime, Eleanor found herself sleeping longer and returning to sleep more easily when she did wake up. This highlights an important point. Physical wake-ups aren't signs of failure. They're signals your body is still doing its job, responding to internal cues, adjusting, and adapting. These moments can guide you toward better care, more informed choices, and a deeper sense of trust in your own awareness. Another key factor to consider is medication side effects. Many seniors take daily prescriptions for heart health, blood pressure, or pain management. And while these medications are essential, they can also affect sleep. Some cause increased urination, others alter body temperature or sensitivity to light and sound, all of which can disrupt your rest. The good news is that small lifestyle adjustments can make a big difference. Staying active during the day, even just gentle stretching or a short walk, can help regulate bodily functions and promote deeper sleep. Keeping your bedroom environment supportive, like using blackout curtains or adjusting room temperature, can reduce unnecessary disruptions. And staying hydrated earlier in the day, rather than right before bed, can minimize nighttime bathroom trips. So, if you find yourself waking up at 3 a.m., consider what your body might be trying to tell you. Is there a subtle ache that builds overnight? A quiet signal from your bladder? Or perhaps a shift in digestion or hydration? Understanding these messages allows you to respond with compassion instead of frustration. Waking up early isn't just about sleep. It's about tuning in, checking in, and making small changes that support better health and deeper rest. As we come to the final part of our journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered so far. We started by exploring how your body's natural production of melatonin changes with age, how those quiet hours in the middle of the night are often not about something being wrong, but rather something evolving. Then we looked at how your internal clock shifts forward over time, nudging you awake earlier than you might expect. We discussed physical discomforts and health-related interruptions, not as signs of decline, but as gentle messages from your body. And most recently, we touched on how emotional awareness can surface during these early morning hours, offering you a chance to connect more deeply with yourself. Each of these insights gives you a new lens through which to view those 3 a.m. wake-ups, not as disruptions, but as invitations. Invitations to listen closely, adjust thoughtfully, and care for yourself with kindness and understanding. Now, let's bring it all together with one powerful action step you can start today. One that doesn't require drastic change or complicated routines, but can make a meaningful difference in how you sleep and how you feel. Create a calming pre-sleep ritual. This is more than just brushing your teeth or turning off the lights. It's about intentionally signaling to your body and mind that it's time to shift into rest mode. Think of it like setting the stage for a peaceful performance. The better prepared your body is for sleep, the smoother the transition will be, and the easier it will be to return to sleep if you do wake up in the night. Here's what this could look like. Dim the lights an hour before bed. This helps your brain recognize that the day is winding down. Avoid screens, especially ones that emit blue light, which can interfere with melatonin production. Spend a few minutes in quiet reflection, whether it's journaling, reading something uplifting, or simply sipping herbal tea while sitting by a window. Try a gentle stretch or breathing exercise to release any tension built up throughout the day. Play soft music or nature sounds to create a soothing environment that tells your nervous system it's safe to relax. This kind of routine isn't just helpful, it's healing. It reminds your body that even though things may have shifted over the years, your ability to care for yourself has only deepened. And here's the beautiful thing. When you begin to treat bedtime as a sacred, intentional space, you start to shift your relationship with those early morning wake-ups. Instead of feeling frustrated or confused, you may find yourself greeting them with curiosity. What is my body trying to tell me? What part of me needs attention right now? That's where the true wisdom of aging comes in, not in resisting change, but in learning to move with it, honoring the ways your body communicates its needs. If you found value in this video, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your daily life. Your thoughts matter, and they help shape the content we create for you moving forward. If you haven't already, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Your support means the world and allows us to keep bringing you thoughtful, insightful content designed specifically for your stage of life. Most importantly, thank you for spending this time with me. Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about deepening. It's about tuning in, caring more fully, and embracing each new chapter with grace and strength. You're not just getting older, you're growing wiser, more attuned, and more connected to what truly matters. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., instead of wondering what's wrong, try asking yourself, what is this moment inviting me to notice? Because sometimes the quietest hours offer the deepest insights. Until next time, take care of yourself, trust your body, and remember, you are still beautifully, powerfully you. Good night, and thank you for watching.